Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Alex with Born to Compete, the #1 source for youth sports, and we're talking about quarterback technique video today, or as known to you as QBTV, and how to become a better quarterback. That's what they all want to do. And so we have a great way to do that. First off, let's record what you're doing on the field. You shoot it, you upload it, then you send it in and get the diagnostics. From there, we take it to the next level and you get the fix, because at the end of the day, results are what matter. Check it out.
Hey coach, I'm gonna get some more.
Hey guys, Alex with Born to Compete, the #1 source for youth sports. I got my man here, Chris Hickson, the founder of QBTV and the head coach of the quarterback experience. I think it's phenomenal. But you tell me about the quarterback experience so everybody out here can know about it.
So QBX is the experience. What it is we're looking for the best quarterback, best DB, your 7-on-7 crew, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. We want to see who the best is across the country. Okay, so we're starting off this national tour, and we're going to have events. And we want you guys to come to it. We want to prove who's the best. Now, we don't want to just find you. We also want to rank you, rate you, and train you. And then the tournament style is awesome. Because you come in, you have a combine skill assessment. And the next thing is you get drafted to teams. And then we go through our 7-7 tournament, and then we're going to see who's the best.
So we're about to get it on.
Absolutely.
Now,
it's going to be awesome.
So they're telling me, first off, you're putting together a great event. Secondly, it's about to be nationally broadcast. Come on now, Chris. What else are you talking about?
So nationally broadcast, it's amazing. We're going to be the first of its kind to actually live broadcast the event. And so you're going to be able to see, no matter where you're at, you're going to be able to see outside your pond that you're in, you're going to be able to see the ocean of players, who the best is, and really be able to rate yourself against other players that are playing the same position you are. That's the bottom line. We want to see who's the best across the country, not just your region or your state.
So we're talking about quarterback, receiver, DBs, the guys that play 7-on-7. They're going to come get it on, get ranked, get drafted, get put into a competitive setting so that you can go ahead and make the evaluations and do everything you need to do. Secondly, it's going to be nationally broadcast so everybody can see. Because listen, Born to Compete, we're a big firm believer in you're putting out work. You're sweating hard. Every day you're coming to work, you're training, you're doing what you need to do. But if it's not seen by everybody, then that's a waste of time. That is a waste of time, and you're in the wrong place. And right here, you are putting them in a great setting. We have some video questions for you. Remember, we got one from Dallas, Texas. They want to say this guy's name. What do we have here? We have Jeff Stevens from Dallas, Texas. Wants to know, what is the difference between a cover 2 and a cover 4? How would you know the difference? That's a great question right there. Because when you're looking at them, it looks like it's the same. But how can you tell the difference?
QBTV stands for Quarterback Technique Videos. It's a personalized technique video. It's not where you just simply go on and buy a video, how to be a great quarterback. What it is actually your information, your video. I take it and I'm going to put it into the specialized software and build you back an exact training program based on exactly what you need. It's not utilized much in football, but now it is with us. And we're going to be breaking down quarterbacks, very, very young guys, all the way through professionals. And we're going to take their information and we're going to break them down with diagnostics and graphics, showing them exactly where they can improve and where the priorities need to be set in training.
My premise is that if we look at the structure of an athlete first and see things like a longer leg or a flattened foot again as examples, and we fix those things, then my goal is to simply give someone like Chris Hickson a better specimen to work with. What does that mean? We can take them to a much higher level, much faster, with much less chance of injury, and keep them at that level for a longer period of time.
We take in the whole body as an evaluation. The injuries that will primarily come up with quarterbacks are going to be stemming from their shoulders and their elbows. I particularly look at the whole body and it could be causing, left hip could be causing the right elbow or the right shoulder to hurt. And through my testing and evaluations, I clean up the kids, the athletes, and provide them to the coach and to Chris in this instance with a structural platform for them to better perform on, and ultimately avoiding injury.
We have a 1, 2, 3 process, as we mentioned before. 1, upload the video. 2, get the diagnostics. And 3, get the fix. And that's truly the key. With QBTV, the diagnostics process is so unique because 1, it compares the student to a pro. And it's such a special thing for the kid because they actually get to see how far compared to the top of the top where they're at.
This is what I've been working for years, is to get in front of these injuries, to keep the kids out on the field. And that's, I believe, QBTV is going to provide that, given the evaluations that I'll provide, the structural analysis that Dr. Lupak will provide, and then the coaching biomechanical awareness that Chris Hickson has.
Jeff, thanks for the question. Okay, so to reiterate, he wants to know the difference between cover 2 and cover 4. Great question. Similar defenses to a pre-snap look. And the key is, let's know pre-snap so we know generally what they're trying to cover or take away from our offense, so we know already before we snap it what we can actually do with their defense. So, to answer Jeff's question, here we go. You already see the graphic up here. We got the cover 2 defense here. And you see, you got to, first thing you want to do, Jeff, you want to look at the safeties. Now, you can't really tell safety in the middle or safety or 2 safeties because this cover 2 and cover 4 both have 2 safety look. Now, with this cover 2, you've got safeties that are very deep. Look at them. They are about 15 yards in depth, 14 to 15 yards. What do they want to do? Pre-snap, they want to cover deep. They're at 14 or 15 yards deep. It's the only defense of its kind that has 2 safeties like that if we're not talking prevent. So in a competitive down, we'll put it like that, so we're not talking prevent, you got 2 safeties with skinny feet that are already pre-snap deep. They want to cover deep. Cover 2 stands for 2 deep, covering 2 zones deep. Now, there's only 2 guys covering back there. So bringing that consideration to the corners. The corners are going to be within 5 yards. Now, the reason they're within 5 yards is so that they legally can collide, create collision, and break up the gallop of that number 1 wide receiver. Because if they don't, it's hard pressure on that cover 2 safety to deal with a full gallop that's uninterrupted. So their job is to create collision, but yet they stay low and cover the outside flat zone. Okay? So in plain black and white concept of cover 2, you got 2 deep, and basically the rest of the 9 guys, they're going to cover the low zones, and they're going to cover. They're going to basically be responsible for run defense. It's very, very simple. So you got guys that'll be head up, wide base, like you see the corner up top. He's very square, so he can get a good collision, and his feet are nice and steady underneath him. No foot behind him. Notice that. This, the corner to the bottom has caddy corner feet, meaning he's going to funnel inside to his help deep. All right, so we're looking at the cover 4 picture here. Now, it kind of looks very similar, but yet the safeties aren't as deep. Wait a minute. They're at 10 yards. They're at 10 yards, meaning they have a different responsibility. They have a responsibility of run. You can see the safety at the bottom, he's kind of in a forward progression. He's coming up. He has run responsibility. They put more pressure on the run this way. Now, the safety to the top has much the same. He's not going anywhere back. He's not going back anywhere fast. So basically, you know that these guys are in run support. The next thing that we go to is to establish what they're in. Is you look at the corners. The corners, they now have skinny feet with stagger feet to drop. Now, when you notice that, you basically go, oh, okay, well, I know that I've got, generally every defense has either 9 or 8 guys in run defense. So in this situation, it looks like the safeties would be in support of run, and the corners would be in their back with no run responsibility and going back, to cover their quarter. Now, that's basically how you tell. Now I'm going to show you an interesting picture. And I want you to understand the differences of what cover 2 and cover 4 is. And I thought that maybe if I showed you a frame of cover 6, which is a 2-4 split, let's go ahead and change that frame to that one. And what you're going to look at here is you're going to see to the top side, that is cover 2. To the bottom side, you'll see a safety that's very aggressive in run support, and he's coming forward, and yet the corner is in a drop back pedal. So there you have it. There's your cover 4 to the bottom side and your cover 2 to the top side. They're post, because the ball's already snapped. This is their post-snap reaction. You can see the responsibilities that they're in. Guys, don't ever forget. Jeff, thanks for bringing this up. Don't ever forget that the defense cannot be at the snap of the ball. They cannot be out of balance, out of position to cover their responsibility. They will be within inches of their post-snap responsibility on pre-snap. Okay, guys, don't get baited and take care of those defenses. Thanks. Thank you very much again, Jeff, for the question. Great question.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that answer right there. Trying to figure out the difference between a cover 2 and a cover 4. When you're a young quarterback, hey, even the older quarterbacks have trouble with it. But right now, we have a man that had obviously a great relationship with quarterback, Michael Haynes himself. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah?
I appreciate it.
Now, people don't know this story. I know this story. I know you probably don't want me to tell everybody. You were sharing it with me one time, long time ago.
Long time ago.
But people don't know that you actually didn't play high school football.
That's correct. I did not play high school football. I started my career when I was 18 years old.
Okay.
Walked on out of junior college. Ran a 40 for the coaches, and they figured they could make me a football player. And that's how my career got started.
So let me ask this question. What did you do when you were in high school? What sport did you play? And do not tell me. Don't tell me you were playing pom-poms or something like that. Give me a good answer now.
All right.
Back.
The truth is, I didn't play any sports in high school.
Okay.
I was in the band.
You were in the band?
Marched at
drum major.
halftime.
Was it a drum major?
I played the trumpet.
Okay.
Marched at halftime during the games.
All right.
And
so apparently this was a very fast march.
Very fast. How about that?
Gotcha.
No, you know what? When I got to high school, I was 5'1". 10th
Okay.
grade, I was 5'1". I was 140 pounds.
All right.
I always thought I was too small to play.
Okay.
By the time I graduated, I was 6'1", 175 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I thought, well, now I want to go to college,
Yeah.
but because I didn't play before, there's no way for me to get there. So I ended up walking on. Had a best friend who played high school football.
Mm-hmm.
He got recruited to Eastern Arizona Junior College, and I kind of just followed him.
Okay.
And got there. Coach decided he was going to give me a tryout.
Mm-hmm.
Told me if I didn't make it, I was on my own. So tried out, ran a 40. They were convinced they could make me a football player, and the rest is history.
Now you keep talking about you ran a 40, but we haven't got that time just yet. You know, don't you just can't walk out there and just say, hey, I want to play football, and it's okay. What was the 40 time?
My 40 time was 4.27.
So you were at a 4.27.
4.27. Well, I didn't realize how fast I was.
Hold on. So let me get this right. You're playing the trumpet, right?
Playing the trumpet.
You put the trumpet down. You walk over to coach, say, "Hey, coach, how you doing? You know, my name is Mike. Whatever nickname you were going by back then with Jerry Curl and everything like that. Whatever you were going by." He said, "Hey, I want to play football." They said, "Yeah, okay. Go run a 40." You go run a 40. You run a 4.27. They're like, "Uh-oh."
It's kind of similar to that. That's kind of the basic of what happened.
Uh-huh.
I had a coach in college who was friends with my high school coach. They start talking about getting me out there. So once I got out there, went through the whole camp thing, ran the 40. Coach figured out that was the fastest 40 anybody ever ran at their school. Figured out they'd make me a football player. So I started off at a defensive back. Found out that it wasn't too much fun running into people.
No. I play receiver too. I understand.
Much fun
Not
running
giving my
into
shoulders
people.
up. No.
So I transferred to the other side of the ball. Started playing receiver. Started running kickoffs back, and got noticed by Northern Arizona University. Went through the whole recruiting process. My recruiting process started after my second year of college.
Yeah.
So went through the whole recruiting process. Ended up at Northern Arizona University, and from then on kept getting better and better, and got drafted by the Falcons.
Okay, so you get drafted by the Falcons, right? And let's fast forward to the opening of the Georgia Dome.
Absolutely.
They opened the Georgia Dome. I don't know what the play is called. The play is called, "Hey, give the ball to a guy who runs the 4.27."
Let me go back a little bit. Let me go back.
You want to go back?
My first 4 years I played at Fulton County Stadium.
Uh-huh.
They talked about building the dome.
Okay.
Jerry Glanville is my head coach.
My guy.
Jerry Glanville.
Leave the ticket
You
for
know,
him.
if anybody knows Glanville, he's over the top eccentric.
Yeah.
So his thing was, we're going to open this dome with a bang.
Okay.
So we had started talking about, as soon as they started talking about building the dome, he started talking about, we scored a touchdown on the first play of the game.
Okay.
So as that leads up to 91 season, we open the dome, Jerry Glanville's like, we got the play call.
What was it called? Was it called 427? What's it called, Mike?
It was called 80 Z Go.
Okay.
I was the Z receiver.
Yeah.
And what happens is we got the kickoff, got the ball at the 20-yard line.
All right.
And we knew it was just we going downfield.
Yeah.
It was Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Quarterback dropped back. I just started running. He threw it up top, and everything just exploded after that.
That's a great feeling, though.
It was an awesome feeling.
I'm sure it was
Awesome
packed that
feeling.
night. Great energy in the
Yes, I
dome
mean
there.
you got to imagine now.
Yeah.
We opening this dome in Atlanta for the
Yeah.
first time.
Oh, yeah.
It was packed.
Yeah.
Crowd was going crazy.
Uh-huh.
We had a great season. So
Okay.
it was a whole lot of fun.
Okay, so you played 10 years in the league, and listen, man, that is nothing to laugh at. That is nothing to say, it's okay. 10 years in the league playing at that physical of a level, that's phenomenal.
Yes, I had a wonderful career, man. I've been very blessed.
You still walk?
I still can walk.
Okay.
I kind of left the game on my terms,
Good.
which was a good feeling because
Good.
I mean, I retired, started a family, still had the opportunity to play, still had
Yeah.
teams calling me to come back, but I knew I was done after my 10th year.
Okay, so you played with the Falcons for a little bit, then you go over to the Aints. I mean, the Saints.
Yeah,
So I went to Atlanta, Georgia, I had to say it. I had to
you
say
see,
it.
you say that word. I don't say it.
I understand.
I just say that team down in New Orleans.
There you go.
So
there you
that's
go.
my hometown.
Uh-huh.
And I enjoyed scoring touchdowns on them,
There
not
you
with
go.
them. So when I had the opportunity to come back, I came back and finished my career as a Falcon.
Okay, all right, besides scoring in the dome, that was first off fantastic, right? Other than that, what was your most memorable experience as an NFL player?
It's got to be the 91 season. We went to New Orleans, played against that team in New Orleans
I got you.
in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
and
I remember
beat
this
them.
play, actually.
And beat them,
Uh-huh.
and I scored the winning touchdown.
Yeah.
So I mean that's like pinnacle right there.
Yeah.
You know, I go into my hometown
Yeah.
in a playoff game. Falcon hadn't won a playoff game in years.
Uh-huh.
So we go in, and I end up scoring the winning touchdown against my hometown team in my hometown to move us on to the next level.
Were you welcomed on Bourbon Street after that?
No, I kind of, you
Yeah.
know, all the guys I went to high school,
Uh-huh.
they hated, they cheered for me,
I got you.
but they hated that my team won the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was mixed emotions.
This is your fault.
Yes,
your
well,
friend, your friendship.
I take full credit for that.
There you go.
There you
Okay. So listen, you have a lot of kids out there to watch. You have a lot of people that aspire to be a professional athlete. And true indeed, it's a little bit different now than what it was at a certain time when you played, but the same principles still remain the same. So what would you tell them if this is something that they want to get involved in, that they want to, that their aspirations or goal are to become a professional player?
Well, number one, that's why QVX is so important, because they get an opportunity to learn from some pros.
Mhm.
They get an opportunity to learn technique. They get an opportunity to go through some drills. They get taught by guys who played the game at the highest level. The best thing that you can do is just work hard.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys have dreams of making it to the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, odds tell you it's always against you,
Mhm.
but it was against me too.
Yeah.
So just keep that dream alive and work as hard as you can. And you never know what happened. I mean, I was a kid who did not play football at all, and then 4 years later, I'm playing in the National Football League.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dream big. I say dream big and work hard.
All right, man. Well, that's a fantastic listen. Is there anything else you want to say or you want everybody to hear?
Well, just that I would say just dream big and work hard, man. I mean, you know, football's a wonderful sport,
Yeah.
and it's a game. Kids got to understand it's a game. At
Agreed.
every level, it's a game. You just got to enjoy it and work hard.
All right, so 10 years in the league, fantastic job. Michael Haynes, fantastic receiver, played in the league. Let me ask you this question before I let you go. I got two questions, all right? First question. You called mama and daddy. You called the friends, Pookie and them, back in New Orleans. Hey, guys, I'm the highest paid player in the league. I just signed the contract. I'm good to go. And then 2 weeks later, somebody else come take the spot. What's that like?
Well, that was expected. What happened was NFL free agency hit in 1993.
Okay.
I became a free agent in 1994.
Christmas came. Got you.
Christmas definitely came.
All right.
What happened was when I became a free agent, I had an opportunity to shop myself around.
Yeah.
Well, also, Tim Brown
Uh-huh.
became a free agent. Anthony Miller became a free agent.
Yes.
So the big race was to see who was going to sign with who first.
Well, y'all call each other, text. Y'all can't
No,
text
no,
back then.
there was no text
There was no
back
text
then.
back then. No email? We have email?
No, you know, I was trying to get out first because those
Gotcha.
guys had huge numbers.
All right.
So I eventually signed with my hometown team.
Okay.
And 2 weeks later, Anthony Miller signed,
All
and then
right.
he became the highest paid receiver
Oh.
in the league. And then another week later, Tim Brown signed, and then he became the highest paid receiver in the league. So I was feeling good about being the highest paid because we talking about Jerry Rice, we
Yeah.
talking about Sterling Sharp,
Yeah.
we talking about Michael Irvin.
You got them all beat
And
right now.
I was the highest paid
There
guy.
you go.
So I mean, it was a good feeling, but it didn't last too long.
That's all right. Now, last thing here. Now, I don't know how much truth is to this. You're going to have to let me know. I hear about all kind of things people do.
Okay.
I heard one time you raced Carl Lewis. Olympic champion, for those that didn't know. He used to hold the world record. I know Usain Bolt is like, he's the man right
He's
now.
the
All
man,
the kids
right.
see them. So I see him. But Carl Lewis at one time was the guy.
Yeah, back in 1988,
Okay.
Carl Lewis was the fastest man on the planet.
Gotcha.
I qualified for the Olympic trials. I ran track in college also.
Uh-huh.
So I qualified for the Olympic trials, went to Olympic trials, won my first race,
Mhm.
got to the second heat,
Okay.
and here I'm in lane 4.
Okay.
Carl Lewis is in lane 5.
All right.
So I'm thinking, I got the fastest man in the world next to me. I gotta
You
do what I
weren't
can
thinking
to
you could
win.
take him?
I wasn't thinking I could take him,
Uh-huh.
but I was going to give him a race. So the gun goes
Uh-huh.
off, I'm running out there, and I tell you what, if
Yeah.
we had to run the 40,
You had
I'd be
him.
the fastest man in the world.
So for 40 yards,
40 yards.
you were the fastest man in the world.
Yes. So we come up on 60 yards, I'm
Yeah.
still leading the race.
Okay.
Now when I start thinking I can win this thing
Uh-huh.
is about the time he was in his victory lap. So from those last 40 meters, and he just, I don't know what he did. He turned something on and he's just, I mean, that's the reason why he's the fastest man. He's the
I
fastest
mean,
man.
I think he owes you some kind of gratitude. He should, give you
He
one of his
should, I
medals.
agree. He should
Yeah.
give me one of his, or just notch it somewhere.
There
Put
you
my
go.
name on it. I'll take that.
There you go. All right, guys. Michael Haynes, fantastic receiver. Played 10 years in the league. Alex Benson. And before we get out of here, we are going to the video tip of the week.
This week's tip is right here. We're going to talk tee to target. Whenever I work to throw to the right or left, what's important is to prepare myself the right way. If we just stood here, so let's talk biomechanics, how your body just naturally wants to work. If I just stood here, my right foot is basically 90 degrees to where my shoulder line is. And my shoulder line is my barrel. So bottom line is we know we want to close this shoulder to my target. So if I was going to throw right, we want to, on crossover, my last crossover, I want to go ahead and close. Guess what? It's going to give me tee to target, which is important. Gives me the tee because that's the way the body wants to work, and I can throw down the target line. It makes it simple, especially when you go backside. If I were to work this way and I come late to the throw. I cross over and then come here. Now it's somewhat of a guess where to put this down. So I might have to transition it and turn it a bit as I come out and throw. So what's important is this. Watch, as I cross over here and I go ahead and put the shoulder on, guess what? It tells me exactly how to put my tee to target. So accuracy up, efficiency up, and then you throw down a line. These are throws that are rhythm throws. They're on tee, it's on time, it's no gather. The defense is not gonna get a beat on what you're doing. So what's important is you get your target line with your shoulders first. So we call it shoulder on 2, which if we're in a 3-step game, 1, 2, 3. Tee to target, throw down target line. Makes things efficient, easy. Quarterback, scientific quarterback right there with precision. Throwing right or left. Remember, tee to target on 2, which means your second step.
I see what you mean. There's a guy.
A couple of years ago, my son was a quarterback in the junior programs, and a community leader referred me to Coach Chris, and it has been the greatest experience we've had, my son and I.
I've been working with Chris Hickson for 4 years. Just finished my last season at Marist High School as quarterback. Well, Chris taught me a lot about throwing and being quarterback itself. He's taught me a lot about just everything about the throwing technique, starting from your feet all the way up to the top. And he really focuses on a lot about the intellectual side of the game. a lot of pre-snap reads, and just knowing what the defense is going to do before they even do it, setting yourself up for victory.
I'm Jacob Chester, and I play at Valdosta State University. Chris taught me so much, everything I know basically. When I came into my 8th grade year, I was pretty sloppy in just about every aspect, footwork-wise. I grew exponentially. Knowledge of the game, just understanding how things work, the timing of routes with defenses. My throwing mechanics also were completely changed. Complete makeover.
One of the great things about Chris is he's an out-of-the-box thinker. There's no ego. He doesn't think that he can fix everything no more than I think I can fix everything.
My name is Joey Connors. I play at St. Pius X High School. I'm a junior this year. I've been working with Chris Hickson for about 3 years now, and the trip has been an adventure, man. I've been learning so much, 5 H's, 5 T's, footwork, handwork, throwing, and I got to see the mistakes I've made, and I got to improve on them. Yes, we actually, after we throw, we go back into his classroom. We have a session there. We go on the boards. We do all these routes, defensive formations.
Seeing Chris work with other kids, and I can say firsthand that his approach to each person is very individual to that child or that player and how he works and his mechanics. And he understands that there are some common things in throwing the football, but each kid is very different. He tailors his approach to each child.
Chris prepares me in many ways. Not only does he prepare me throwing, but also in footwork, in the classroom, reading defenses, learning the routes, learning my plays. There's something called RDR where it's read, draw, read, and that's how I'm really learning my playbook. He puts us on video to analyze what we're doing wrong and right, so we really get to work on what we're doing wrong and see it on video in slow motion. He can help us with that.
But the film is a huge help, especially if you've never seen yourself on film. It'll really open your eyes.
The students that come in for me, basically from Chris, come in for performance versus rehab, which speaks very highly for Chris. And he understands biomechanics. A lot of the things that I'll provide for Chris is just a solution to fix the biomechanical imperfections.
Chris teaches the mechanics of throwing the football, and everybody's different, and he understands that. But what he does very well is he looks at your son and looks at what he does well and syncs that up with his body and his mechanics and ensures that it's repeatable, and making sure that my son does it continuously, and his accuracy has gone through the roof since we have worked with Chris.
What's going on, guys? Alex was born to compete. I got the man here, head coach Chris. Chris, we got some questions for you. All right, I know we did the video thing earlier, but let's go a little more deeper. I'm about to ask you a very hard question. I need the real answer.
Okay, I'm ready.
What is the most important thing you look for in a quarterback?
Oh man, the look, the it factor.
Yeah?
Give me that over everything else. Absolutely. Just make me believe we can do something in the fourth quarter. We'll talk skill later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's it.
That's it?
Come on. I mean, here's the bottom line. You got guys, you got a whole team, you got to have, there's a belief system. You got to buy in. And if you got a quarterback that knows how to, BS me all day long.
Yeah.
BS, just make me believe and have faith and have some hope.
Okay.
Okay? Because in the fourth quarter, that Joe Montana attitude will get me through and make me think that I can do something.
Yeah.
And you'll probably end up doing it.
Yeah.
You got better odds.
Yeah. All right, and that's how I feel exactly about Trevor Lawrence, man. Everybody asked me, because we saw him since he was 6th grade. So they said, how did you know he was going to be that good? We knew in 6th grade, yes. 7th grade, okay, yeah. But 8th grade is when he took that next step. He was going to 9th grade, and he's playing an all-star game in San Antonio, right? Playing against Team Maryland. And I'll never forget, he's playing all right, but probably not the best game you want him to have. He goes back to pass the ball, sets his feet, lets it go, but takes a shot in the chin, blood's everywhere. I think he's a little woozy, comes to the sideline. And see, this is what I always say, people in my profession, please be at the game. If you're not at the game, then you can't watch it on TV. Film can lie to you. He's on the sideline. I guess he's getting stitched up the whole nine. He goes into a booth, puts his cape on, comes down and leads his team to a win where they beat that Maryland team and they go on to win that All-Stars tournament championship. Then later in the summer, he's looking like a whole new man. Got his chest out. Swag's where it needs to be. And he looks like somebody that you want to play with. That's what I always tell somebody. How do you know he can be the guy? Because I remember when I played in college, I loved my quarterback. We still get along today. You know, we call each other, have a good time. But he has to be somebody you absolutely want to play with. Is that the guy? And I'm guessing what you're talking about for the it factor, right?
That's it. I mean, think about this. I mean, my situation was this. I always turned my engine on once I got hit. I love the physicality part of the game.
Yeah.
If I didn't play quarterback, I'd play linebacker so I could hit somebody.
All right.
So I actually truly enjoyed just the rough and tough part of it, rub some dirt on it, let's get going. There's another down to go, let's go.
Yeah.
I love that attitude part of the game.
Yeah.
So when you tell me that Trevor Lawrence story,
I saw your blood get boiled a little bit. I saw you.
I'm telling you,
like you were ready to go, man.
I got a little pins and needles.
Yeah.
Man, that's football. Football's a story on each play. You can see the attitudes of people getting let down, people getting built up,
Yeah.
and it's just a momentum factor.
All right.
And people who use their experiences to get better, and that's why we call the experience, because bottom line is who you are, where you are right now, the confidence you had that Trevor had after that, and the
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
is because you are burned and branded by your experiences.
There you go.
And that's why we call it the experience.
All right. So now let's talk about another player right now. We're talking about the quarterback spotlight of the week, Jacob Eason. He is considered right now as the #1 quarterback in the country. He's hard committed. He has a hard commit to Georgia. You tell me about this young man. What do you think what makes him special?
Well, number one, he's a big guy. He's a big guy. He's got a huge arm. I've seen him on film.
Yeah.
I mean, he can make any throw. His body can be in a train wreck, and he can still throw all the different passes.
Wow.
And that right there is something special. I mean, when you can make all the throws downfield and your body is not in alignment to do that, that's something special. Also, he makes great decisions. I mean, I've been watching. It's one thing to watch a highlight film, but you need to watch a game to see the rhythm of his decision making.
Exactly.
You have to watch that. And if you catch somebody who's, it's really not, it's about the attempts versus interceptions.
There you go.
It's that risk factor that coaches are truly interested. That's what they want to know about.
Okay.
Not, hey, what's your completion ratio?
Yeah.
Even though that's important, but it's really your risk management. He does a great job with that. Like I said, he's a big guy, #1, and he's got some dilemma right now. With the Georgia situation that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Does he stay there?
Is
That's the thing.
Rick still going to be there at the end of the year? What do you think?
Ooh, man.
I'm putting you on the spot.
I don't know.
I like Rick. We all
love
like Rick. Yeah, great,
Rick,
fantastic person.
He is an unbelievable heart,
Yeah.
forgiving heart. He provides a very fatherly environment at Georgia, and I think that's why he stayed there so long, is because of what kindness and love he shows to all his teammates. People want to play for that.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt.
Yeah. Back to Jacob though.
The problem is, does he stay? And then if he stays, does he still stay? I mean, there's a couple different things going on. So I think, Coach Rick, I think that you probably could see with the Florida loss, you could see a change there. And if that happens, I probably see a decommit from Jacob Eason.
Then where? Where would he go if he decommits from there?
Well, if it was the professional, I'd say to the highest bidder. You can't say that in college, okay?
We do not condone that. Go ahead.
No, because it's not good.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, he's going to go to a high-flying act. I don't think he's an Alabama guy.
Okay.
I think he wants to throw the ball a little bit more.
I agree.
Even though, they've been starting to go that way the past couple of years. The offense has been trying to loosen up.
Yeah.
They got a running quarterback with Blake, and then they had the quarterback questions this year, and you stabilize that by the run game. So, I don't think it's going to be there. I think he'll probably go somewhere where they're going to throw a little bit.
Okay.
And it's not so much of a running offense or requiring the quarterback to run. That's not his style. He's a pocket passer for sure.
Well, I tell you what. Let's make it plain. If you can compare him to any NFL quarterback right now, who would you compare him to?
Jeff George.
You know what though? For everything, all things considered, Jeff can play some football.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
My coach, Coach Joe Montana, Steve Young, and Trent Green.
Okay.
And he went to a workout and saw this guy throw 100 balls. There was one ball that was off. I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand this: the reason I say his body can be in a train wreck,
Yeah.
Jeff George can do whatever with that arm.
It didn't matter.
That arm was a missile. I'm pretty sure the military gave him a certification for having a cannon.
There you go.
Because you can't just walk around with that.
Yeah.
You got to have certification. Pretty sure they gave it to him.
I think the best thing about Jeff George, like you said, he can throw from anywhere. He could get it done. You could put him in any offense. It didn't matter what throw it was.
Yeah.
He could go ahead and get it done for you. I think some different things just probably hindered his career, if that's what you want to say. But we're talking football. We're talking about the player. And if you're comparing him to one of the greatest arms, people, listen, you can say what you want to say about the man. One of the greatest arms now to play in the league. If you're comparing him to him, that's, wow.
He's huge.
He's that good?
You got to watch it.
Come on, man. He's that
You got to
good.
see it. You got to see the arm.
All right.
It's all about, look, it's the it factor, then let's go to the arm.
There you go.
You know, I will talk about you being able to run and move later. Ask Dan Marino that. He's the
There you
quickest guy, but he ran a 6-second 40.
Love it.
So I had Mike Haynes who ran a 4.27, then we went to the slowest guy, Dan Marino.
There you go.
Ran a 6-second.
There you go.
But nobody could catch him.
So guys, there you have it. Hey, head coach Chris, man, he's telling you who's your quarterback spotlight. We're answering some questions right now. Let's take it to the commercial.
Hey, Jones, let's go catch some balls, man.
Where does he get all that energy?
We just finished 2 days and he's not even tired.
How can he still focus?
Hey, Fisk, look sharp. Where did he get those tires?
Hey, Drew, where's your secret?
For long-lasting energy and sharper mental focus, it all starts with a Spark, one of the many great products from Advocare.
Breeze.
Okay, this is the part of the show that we talk about key position. We have 36 key positions with QBTV, and it's the key positions that a quarterback's got to go through to throw like a prototypical NFL thrower. So today's key position is the Bermuda Triangle. Right here, you can see 3 areas, the triangle that we have. And I'm sure you at home know exactly what I'm talking about. The Bermuda Triangle, things get lost out in the ocean. Boats, planes, people, and we have no answer for it. Well, here at QBTV, we got an answer. Bottom line is, when you throw and your belt buckle and your sternum at target when you release. Now look, you can see right here, the belt buckle, the sternum at release. When you're letting go of that ball, I guarantee you has a lot more odds of being completed and being accurate if you're throwing it, doing it right with the Bermuda Triangle. So when you rotate through, you got the belt buckle, the sternum, the release. Just imagine this. What if you threw like this? Does that increase or decrease your consistency of accuracy? Obviously, you got the answer right. That means you're going to be a great quarterback. Make sure you do the right key positions, and you're going to be just fine. Let's throw like a pro. All right, this is my most exciting thing to talk about. Sure, it's about field skills and what you can do with throwing dimes and all the things that we do out there. I love that. But I truly love Chalk Talk. Let's get on the board. Let's talk about a situation. One of the earlier questions of the show was, how can you tell the difference between cover 2 and cover 4? Well, that's great if you can recognize the differences, but do you know what to do with it? What do you do with that information? Why is Peyton Manning changing calls at the line of scrimmage? Why is Tom Brady always getting his offense into the right situation? You have to understand these things so you can do the same thing and get your team into a best situation, best possibility based on what you're seeing. Okay? So here we go. We're going to talk a little bit about cover 2 to begin with. All right, cover 2. Basically, it's a blanket defense where they got free safeties with skinny feet. What does skinny feet mean? That means they want to go backwards. You don't want to go forwards when you have skinny feet. Think about what linebackers are. They got a wide base, okay? Those safeties have skinny feet. It means they're going back. Take that to the bank. Next thing is you got corners. Corner's job, now a lot of times you got defenses that run different types of cover 2, but let's talk about the general concept of cover 2. They need to have collision with the outside wide receivers because they only got 2 guys covering deep. Okay? Cover 2, 2 guys covering deep. This sport's made for concussions. So bottom line is they make it simple. Cover 2, 2 guys deep. Now, only 2 guys covering the whole width of the field. That's a lot of field. So one thing they want to do is this guy, the outside wide receivers, they want to make sure that they slow down his gallop. If they give a free run at the free safety or the outside 9-route portion of the field, that's a problem. You got to make sure they get collision. They also force inside for help deep. So they'll line up outside shape. This is one of the easiest corners to tell pre-snap what they're doing, okay? So you've got skinny feet by safeties and an outside position by the corner. Don't forget this, to have collision, they got to be within 5 yards. So you'll see that alignment. It's very distinctive. And also they're very interested at the offense, at the quarterback. So you'll see them line up inside and look at you and look at the wide receiver. Here and here. Okay? Simple. Now, so you can recognize cover 2. Let's talk about where our green areas. What's good about cover 2? Well, they take away this, they take away that, they take away that, they take away that. What are they giving us? No one ever draws out the zones they give us. Let's talk about that. All right, well, here, look at this. Let's draw a zone that they're giving us. Right there. Why do we draw it where it thins up as it goes away? Because the longer the ball is in the air, well then this guy has more reaction time. That's why we draw the zone going away and getting skinnier the deeper you go. Okay, ooh, what is this? Area they might not be covering. Let's talk about it. Let's make it hurt. Next situation, it's a mirror defense, so it's going to be the same on the other side. Okay? All good areas to throw in. Now, obviously you're going to have lanes. You know you can't throw outside, but you're going to have lanes in here that you can throw. Depending on the linebacker set, that's how many windows we're going to have, okay? Now this is very simple. Once you understand this, it's very simple. It takes a second to learn all the defenses and know exactly what works, but you want to create a concept, a rock-hard belief system of what works and what doesn't. Because going out there and saying, I kind of see this, and I'm watching this guy, and if he does that, I'm going to do this, and if he does this, I'm going to do that. You don't want to be like that. You want to create a system of belief so that you can have what? Increased anticipation. Increased anticipation. You've heard those broadcasters. They talk about anticipation. All right? It's how these defensive guys can never touch you at the line. Because you already know what's going to happen. If you know what you're looking at pre-snap, then you're going to get the ball out of your hands super fast. Guess who's not going to get to you? Defensive line. Then the coach gets frustrated and he starts blitzing you. Doesn't matter. You already know what's happening. You can read the defense. So, as we go here, let's talk about, hey, okay, now we know what areas are open. What's the next step? What works? What works? How do we get to this area? Well, let's see. We could run a simple corner route. Let me get a different color on that. We can run a corner route. Hey, we just got there. Awesome. That's easy. We could run a corner route from here. The old greatest show on turf corner. Isaac Bruce, all great. Kurt Warner throwing all those touchdowns, throwing that corner route. That's the one he dominated with. Okay, what's another way to get it? Well, 9 route. That's what we call bang 9. You bang the hole in the outside 9 shot. All right, next thing is, how do we get to here? Well, let's run them on a bender route. Easy. It's simple, guys. Football is simple if you know what you're looking at. And if I could raise your football IQ, first thing I'd do is get you to know what the defense is, what does it look like, identify it. Secondly, let's talk about what's going to hurt it. Okay? So if I give you the universal route tree, and most of you guys know it, you walk out on the NFL field and you have some wide receivers out there and you're going to say, hey, run me a 2 route. Everybody's going to run a slant. Sometimes in high school systems they run a different number system, but the universal route tree, 0 through 9. And if I said 0 through 9, what works on our cover 2? It's 2, 4, 6, 7, bang 9. 2, 4, 6, 7, bang 9. And if you know it like that, when you recognize it, you know what's going to hurt it.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the show. I had a fantastic time interviewing Mike Haynes, a 10-year professional football player. He played in the big leagues, obviously. A vet. Said he ran a 4.27. Mike, listen, man, I didn't tell you in front of you. I didn't want to take your shine. I'm faster than you. Next time I see you, I'm going to prove it to you. But guys, till then, make sure you log in. The quarterback experience is about to take off, and you need to make sure you're on there and participating in everything that they have to offer. So guys, till next week, we'll be here every week. Make sure you check us out, all right? Take care.